Hi guys, Maikeru here. I wanted to start making videos in more of a rant style like I have done in the past. So here is my video talking about Proteans and the sad truth about how they're more than just a big MTX XP item, which is obviously bad in its own right, but also they're slowly killing the economy of RS3. I do understand that's a bold claim, but I'll explain. Take Protean S as an example, one of the newer OP ones released into the game. The essence is very strong. Runes were already way too overpriced, but people still had to at least go craft some runes to trade this skill at a good, decent experience an hour. You would go do soul runes or blood runes and you would get good XP, or you could AFK it in Runespan and get trash XP. That's fine because Runespan's like fully AFK and it's rewarding you to go through the abyss and stuff like that to actually make runes. But now people just wait until double XP, AFK a bunch of Protean essence with a stupidly high experience an hour that's far better than actually engaging with any actual crafting of runes, and now runes are coming into the game even slower and they're getting higher and higher in pricing, causing issues. The same could be said for other Proteans as well. Take the other newer OP Protean shakes. Herblore has always been expensive to train, but now it's at an all-time low cost because herbs and potions from PVM and doing farm runs and stuff like that are an all-time low too. Less and less people are making potions, causing the herbs become less and less in demand and are now remaining lower than normal in price across the board. As you can see from some of these wiki graphs of clean herbs, when the seed update happened, which was very closely followed by the shakes update, the price of herbs dropped a little bit because people were getting their comp cape requirements back. But they should have returned to a normal price, just like they always do when they spike on double XP and stuff like that. But instead, every single herb stayed at a consistently lower price, even though technically you get less herbs from PVMing now, and if you process them in seeds, you get less herbs per plant than you would have got as a drop from PVM. So if anything, there is less herbs coming into the game, but they are still lower than what they were before the shakes came in. Surely that should be the other way around. They should go up when there's less coming into the game. But no, it's because the good old Protean shakes are so strong that especially for the earlier parts of Herblore training, you just speed through those levels and you use none of those herbs. And then meanwhile, inflation is crazy on RuneScape 3 and everything else is going up in terms of price, but these are going down. It shows that there's definitely an imbalance of items coming out versus items coming in, and this is part of the problem. Bosses dropping too many items is obviously another problem where, there's so much coming into the game. But with the seed update alongside it, it definitely just goes to show that even if they nerf the drop tables, the items are still far too low because they're not getting removed enough, with stuff like this being like best in slot training methods and overshadowing actually training the skill normally. Other Proteans such as hides also have a similar, impact with like Black Dragon Hide and gem costs, but it's not quite as bad as the impact of the newer Protean. The reason for this is that the XP rates of the actual Protean hides are less than the optimal best in slot methods, aka Dragon Stones and Black Dragon Hide shields. Protean should never ever be more XP than the best in slot methods. So this is why I think hides are good, because they are a good balance. But now with Jagex looking to buff old Proteans that don't get used, now there's more OP ones, that causes issues of what's going to happen to stuff like hides to compete with the other Proteans now. They literally just buffed Protean Wisps at the start of double XP. What's stopping them from buffing all of the others, making them better than actually training the skill as intended? Bars, logs, planks, they could all have huge impacts if buffed alongside those new ones coming in, and then devaluing even more skills and resources. The Protean should always just be AFK and a nice alternative to train with, but not best in slot XP on top of how AFK they are. And some guides at this point are actually recommending the use of Protean methods as being the best way to train the skill. Having those MTX methods being the best way to train the skill is definitely not great. Even stuff like traps, when we had the whole rebalance of the XP in the hunter skill, they made Protean traps deliberately very powerful, making them probably one of the best ways, if not the best way, to train Hunter. That in itself shows a problem because someone could just Protean trap all the way to 99 or 120 and never engage in any of the fun Hunter activities they have on offer to them, aka Big Game Hunter. It's actually really enjoyable and good XP, but it's overshadowed by those Protean traps. Jagex is spending so much time in making really good updates for the game, but then they get overshadowed because these type of methods exist and people just do them instead. Jagex could turn around and just say, we're releasing Proteans for the remaining skills, like summoning, right? And then summoning is taking less GP out of the game with shards and stuff. That's bad for the economy. Maybe they'll release prayer Proteans. And then bones are far less valuable, making a lot of like different monsters in the game less valuable to kill. They can make archaeology Proteans, making materials less worth it. There's so many different types of Proteans they could do that would be bad for the game. And now they're adding more. There's nothing to say they'll stop at just these new ones. And yes, don't get me wrong, I know MTX won't be going anywhere anytime soon. But my issue is less with the XP and more about the way you interact and play with the game. I love RuneScape and I want it to do well, and I love when new updates come out and they're well received. But I think one of the reasons why stuff like Scarabs in Hex Oasis, which is actually a really competitive experience an hour, was far overshadowed was because everyone already had 120 from the Proteans because it's an easy one to get, you know? So they don't want to train Hunter anymore. That devalues content. It causes skipping whole sections of training and impacts the economy in bad ways. I don't like that at all. At least something like bonus XP requires you to go and do it as intended, and you attain items from doing it or process the items. You just process half of them because you're getting twice as much XP. You actually have to do the method and engage in the content instead of just sitting there making something that goes to dust out of nothing. I know buying XP also exists, but it's crazy expensive to buy any type of XP, and if you go straight up 99 or 120, then you're spending thousands of dollars. Whereas Proteans are given out from so many different things in the game and so many different events they do and Yak Track and all of these different avenues that you can easily stockpile a bunch of Proteans to use on a double XP weekend and then skip the whole skill. And that to me is a big cause of concern compared to like one guy wailing out on the Treasure Hunter. And yes, I know the Treasure Hunter is also bad, it's just an example and a comparison. It's all bad, but some things are worse for me. But yeah, do let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, and whether you agree or disagree with me. I like discussions like this, and I think it's very interesting. I also really want to start uploading lots of different types of content on this channel again, so if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like as it helps me greatly with the algorithm, and subscribe if you're already not subscribed for loads of future content that I have planned. And please do let me know if you enjoyed this rant style content and like just thinking about these things, because I'll post more content like that in the future if you guys like it. I personally love talking about different subjects like this, and I do it a lot on streams, but I don't really do it on YouTube, so I would love to do it. And as always, if you made it this far into the video, you're an absolute legend, and I hope you have an absolute smashing day. And until next time, see ya.